I'll tell you a terrible story of
love
when
terrible
I thought I was
stories.
die. And I was in Ottawa. Ottawa's, I guess, the capital, right? And they were very like, it's like they're like nice Canadian, like almost PBS show Canadian kind of people.
Mm-hmm.
There's only like passive aggression,
Yeah.
but no like
Actual aggression.
Yeah, and like, I would never bring drugs in if you don't need to, and they're so hard on you if you ever just bring like weed that's legal that you can get there. That's why it's stupid to try to bring anything over a border. But I really wanted to get coke. I remember the employees, hang out and drink and all that shit with the people that work the club, and I was trying to get coke, and then they went and got coke, right? And I'm like, all right, cool, let's go do it. And they're like, oh, we don't do coke.
They just got it for you and they didn't do it.
They're just that nice. They're like, I'm like, oh, you're not even like. And I'm like, did I just put you in some weird danger with a Somali gang to fucking, hey, the coke for the guy? So I'm talking to them, and then some guy goes, I'll do coke with you, eh? Okay. He said A.
Yeah.
And this dude like stepped out of the shadows.
Lurches forward.
Yeah, and he was like a pretty athletic looking dude that was shorter than me, though. It turned out he was a Canadian pro football player.
Damn.
Do you ever see
Still
Canadian
playing?
football? At that time, yeah.
Is that in like the British sense of football, like soccer?
No, it's like American football, but it's the Canada League of Football, and like
Wow.
their yards are longer. I don't know football, but
It's metric.
it's like a longer field they run
Right.
on and some other shit, and they have their own, and it's like, being a star of Degrassi Junior High versus like,
right.
Canadian
football.
Drake now in America famous. So anyway, so he's some professional athlete football player. So they had given us the penthouse suite I had the penthouse suite. Oh, Tim, this other comic Tim was in the other room. Okay. And the penthouse was a laughable, like Canadian socialist idea of what a penthouse is.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There was like a trundle bed. I think. So, but we ended up coming back like super late at this hotel. I think Tim was, forgetting Tim's last name. Tim was sleeping in the other room. I come in with this we're all boozed up and like coked up on this like probably not good, probably the most stepped on blow.
Yeah.
The most polite cocaine.
Yeah, we're just doing, and he's like, hey, let's get some whores, eh? I'm like, all right, like good idea, right? Now, that's by the way, what coke is like a drug that would make you be like, let's definitely get whores that I'm going to somehow fuck with a condom on with my coked up dick.
Right. That
And
seems
there's
like a
no
great
connection to the waste of money and time that you're at all.
Yeah.
So I'm like, all right, but I got it covered because my friend and buddy had Cialis's. It's like when Viagra had upgraded to Cialis's. Where
Yeah.
It's like, so you can wait when you're ready, like when you're with a Canadian football player.
Yeah.
You act out of your mind that you
You
want
can
to
take
get
it whenever.
whores.
Yeah. The minute you have a sexual thought, you're pitching a tent.
Okay. So I go and knock on Buddy's door, and I'm like, dude, I need one of the Cialis's. We got whores. And Buddy goes, like, and it's like 3 a.m. Like he was dead asleep. So I woke him up because I'm all fucking blissed up to give me one of his dick pills. But he gave it to me. Good guy, Buddy Bull.
Yeah.
So I took it. I'm like, all right, cool. So now I'm not going to waste my Canadian silly colored money when so the girls, and then they show up like right after I took it, they showed up because it takes like a little bit to work. So one of them's kind of athletic looking, very tattooed, maybe like Lebanese or something, Canadian like that, And the other one's cute, like she's not like, I wouldn't say she's fat or anything, but she's like she was pretty, but that was right. But I wasn't like out of shape or something. But I just remember I was like okay with her.
She was sturdy.
Yeah, the other guy and the dude jumped on the tattoo one. So he goes to take the tattoo one, and Tim, the other comic who's asleep in his room, this fucking Canadian guy just goes in his room and he goes, hey, we're going to fuck on the end of the bed, eh? To Tim. I didn't find out till the next day. So he's in dead sleep, and he wakes up, and there's a fucking Canadian football player, which and this tattooed Lebanese whore, and he's saying, he must have thought he was dreaming. So...
Did he sleep through it?
No, he didn't go back to sleep the rest. In fact, I think he watched through a thing the whole time because he couldn't believe what was happening.
Yeah.
So he starts fucking on the floor, and he's saying everything in like Like, hey, let me not wear a condom, eh? And you're like, no, you gotta wear a condom. Like, and they're saying this in Canadian to each other, politely having a back and forth.
Yeah.
Wow.
And then so he's fucking her on the floor. So meanwhile, my dick doesn't work because I'm all junked out on the worst coke I've ever had in my life.
Yeah.
Right.
And I have to keep drinking to ease the terrible anxiety of this fucking awful cocaine, right?
Yeah. And the Cialis isn't kicked in yet.
Okay. And this is like $100 Canadian. So what is it, like $35? Is it, you know? So, and I remember when there was coke, and I'm like, hey, you want some? She goes, oh, I don't do that stuff. The hooker said, I don't do that stuff.
You're getting judged by a Canadian hooker.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to get my stupid dick hard, or I don't even know if she was even doing anything yet. Or no, she was trying to. But here's what I'm realizing as this is happening, besides like all the, we're like, oh, great. Like, and this other guy, by the way, is just pile driving his hooker in the corner. This chick kind of looks like my sister.
No.
Like if my sister put on a little weight.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of reasons that it's
You
not.
want to fuck
Right.
her?
It's not
So,
going to work.
of course, I would normally want to fuck her if not for this guilt. But it was like, so I think Tim, the other comic, he goes later where he was laughing about it, he goes, it looked like a bird pulling an earthworm out of the ground, like trying to, I think I like saw the, and then I don't know, it was like $1.60, but I just remember blue and like that neon money. And
So
Yeah.
you never had sex with her? She just
She
jerked
was-
you off?
kind of, yeah. And then she, on their way out, she pointed at the table. She goes, hey, that shit'll kill you, eh? Pointed to the coke. So they leave.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm like, well, whatever. I mean, I guess I got a story. Like, I'm trying to, cause I was wasted on basically a simulated hand job from a fatter version of my sister.
The field
That's
hockey
Canada for
version.
you. You want a semi-soft hand job from a heavy-set chick that looks like your fat.
I can't believe the Canadian Tourism Board hasn't called you for that story.
Yeah.
It sounds like a Degrassi. And
Yeah.
anyway, so they leave. So then time has gone by and they leave, and I'm like starting to feel not good because now the Cialis is kicking in. Okay, and I'm high out of my mind on coke, so I'm already up here,
Right.
and I can feel my fucking like blood going up the back of my head and shit.
Yeah.
Like,
Right.
I'm like, shit. Oh, my dick's hard now. My dick's hard, and I'm gonna die.
Tim.
Like the dude just hanging out with doing. I'm like, dude, I think I'm gonna die. And the guy was like, by the way, this Canadian football guy was like very nice. He's like, oh, you can be all right, man. This motherfucker had to hold my hand because I thought I was having a heart attack.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just sitting there with a rock hard dick, and like
Holding hands with a guy.
Yeah.
holding hands with a guy.
Yeah.
I think I had a towel on my head, like, and I remember that it was like a while, and then I like calmed down or whatever. I don't know whatever happened. I don't know what team he played for or whatever, but
What position?
that
was he
was
like a big dude or like a running back or like a
he
wide
was shorter
receiver?
than Isaac.
Oh, cool.
But like, if you think of a football player, I would think you start at my height and up. For,
Oh, at
like,
least,
shit,
yeah,
right?
for
Unless you're like
professional-
a quarter. What
So
do
he
you?
was probably like a wide receiver or something.
Their football's different, and the guys are smaller, and it's like. But I think they have to like work harder actually because of there's more field. I don't remember.
And
I
that's
ju-
the last time you took those pills?
Cialis? No. What are you talking about? I would say especially if you're not on drugs.
Yeah.
I mean, you wouldn't even know what you lost until you. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
but I'm 46, so I've heard of shit where I can't believe it. People tell me about they get like a Viagra thing that injects into their dick hole.
Oh, yeah, with a needle.
It's not a needle.
Oh.
It's like a pastry
Like
frosting tube that you put in your, and it puts, and I'm like, and I was laughing about it, and one of the dudes that works, I can't remember his name, black guy, big guy, he then gave me this long medical explanation of how it works.
Wait,
And
where
like,
does he work?
what the fuck? How, like, where you got to be at that's like, I got to inject it right down my dick hole.
Yeah, that means you've tried the pills and they don't work.
Oh, you know what he told me? He said it's like probably better for you to do it that way. I think that's what he told me.
Yeah, then taking a pill.
Like that, if I had drip fed it into my dick instead of swallowed it, I maybe wouldn't have been as.
With